Recruiter here, the Headless Headhunter, getting you ahead of your job search by reviewing your resume. So the resume we have up first is for a software engineer intern. They also said software engineer intern / junior level, but that's not a thing. It's software engineer full-time or software engineer intern. They are two different roles. You cannot have a resume that is good for both. It just doesn't work. So what we're looking for as a software engineer intern is your degree, basic knowledge of your tech stack, so like library, language, SQL, cloud, ability to work well with others, and takes direction and criticism. I reviewed this resume in 20 seconds for my Meet or Yeet series, and it definitely was a yeet. So I could not find almost anything I needed, which is really not great. So let's see what we can do to improve it, which is probably going to be an awful lot. And if you hear any weird noises, it's because my dog is being weird off in the corner. What are you doing, buddy? Stop. I'm recording. Stop making weird sounds. All right, so this needs to be one line and not bolded. This can be deleted. Relevant coursework is never relevant for your resume. This should be one line. Again, you want it to be one line and not bolded. Nothing here should be bolded. But a bigger problem than the bolding, because again, I would prefer a resume to have bad formatting and good bullet points than bad bullet points and good formatting. Although in this case, it has both bad formatting and bad bullet points. So the biggest issue with this, besides the formatting, is that you tell me absolutely nothing that I'm looking for. This resume might as well be blank. I see a PowerShell. I'm not really looking for PowerShell. And then you bolded this stuff, but it doesn't matter because I'm not looking for this. At no point, if I am looking for an intern or one of my qualifications that I'm looking for going to be reducing configuration time by 90%, 30 minutes to under a minute, and standardizing them for 150 radiologists. No one's going to be asking you to do that. So this is not relevant. This is not relevant. This is not relevant. Agile sprints might be. This also, again, not super relevant. So this, I want to be clear, I didn't even get past this on your resume. I assume what actually is relevant is here. So no one's getting down here. Now, the rules of what you need to put, here's the rule of the order of what is important. People are like, well, if I have a project, if I have work experience, what's the order? What do I do? So there are 4 things that are important in the orders. The most important thing above all else is relevancy to the role. So relevancy to the role is first, then it is work experience, then it is projects, then it is internships, then it is projects. So what this means is, while yes, work experience is valued more over internships, if your work experience was not related to the role, that internship will be more impactful on your resume. If your internship and work experience are not related to the role you're applying to, then that project would go ahead of them in the order of your resume. So it's always going to be what is relevant to the job first, then it goes the order of work experience, internships, projects. That is the order of importance for your resume, because it doesn't matter that you were here forever. It really just matters that you have relevancy for the role. Now, it's not terrible to have this because this shows you can work in a setting. So I actually do like that you have this, but it should not go above your projects. So I would honestly, let's see, is this the same role? If this is the same role, then no, it's not. Okay. I would keep this. And instead of focusing all of this, just do a very basic 1-sentence overview. That way it just shows that you can work in a corporate setting. That's it. That's all it shows. That is a green flag. This is the most important thing about this job and the agile. So again, make it a single sentence. As it said, as the IT support, I talked with X amount of customers and performed agile sprints. They love that. That's all you need from it. And then you can have this under there. This one's not as great because it's from June to May, so it's less than a year. That's it's not a red flag, but some managers could see it maybe as a yellow flag. So I don't know if you need this, but you do want this. And again, it should be under the project. So now to the actual projects. This doesn't count. Designed and built a full stack. Cool. What was it in? Again, this doesn't count. You have to state it. I wish these skill sections counted. I absolutely wish they do. Resumes would be a lot easier, but they don't. You cannot have this little skill section. Anything here doesn't count. You have to do it here. So designed and built a full stack AI web app using, I assume, TypeScript, Python, and Docker or whatever. I don't care about tokens. Engineered fast API endpoints leveraging pedantic models. No, we're not looking for fast necessarily API. What about Python? Is Python the same as fast API? Cool, maybe. Doesn't matter. You need to state Python. Because again, we're looking for the basics of it. LangChain, maybe, because that could be the AI they're looking for. That's okay. But the rest of this, I don't know. It's so technical. Remember, in fact, I need you to rethink of how you write your resume. You are an IT support at a hospital. I have recruited a lot of nurses before. I understand why they ask when people want to do tech stuff. Nurses are incredible. They do an awful lot for everybody else, but man, oh man, they're not always up to date on the tech. So when you write your resume, I need you to think of a person that you've helped for IT support. Because during this job, you have met somebody who you went 30 minutes on the phone with, and their problem was their monitor wasn't plugged in. That's who I need you to write this resume for. I need you to write this stuff for that person. This is actually a really good sentence, though, right? This is in fact, I'd say this is your best sentence. Automated cloud deployment. Again, what cloud? AWS, GCP, or Google, or Azure. I assume it's Google. So just say automated cloud and then put in parentheses GCP using Docker, good, containerization, whatever, Google Cloud Run. I don't know if they're going to ask for that directly, and CI/CD. So your problem is you wrote this for people that are too technical. Because I hate to say it, even the manager themselves, they want a resume that is based on you writing it as if their monitor was off. That is the level to which you need to write it. Even if they're tech recruiters, the thing is we have 20 seconds. And I would challenge anybody in fact, I would say probably less than 20 seconds for this particular role. This is probably like a 10 second. Can you find all of this stuff in 15 seconds? Again, this doesn't count. Has to be here. So reorder your resume, fix your formatting, use this formatting. This formatting is on my websites, plural, on my website under the resume template and guide section. So please go to it. It'll help you out a lot. Your resume should look like this. This lets us read it very easily. And fix your bullet points, because these are very bad bullet points. This is specifically why, is you wrote it too technical. You are smart. I'm not saying you're not smart. You're a genius. You're probably smarter than a lot of people that are reading your resume, but you can't write your resume like that. If you truly assume recruiters are idiots, then you really need to start writing your resume for it. But make it simple, make it sweet, make it basic. Stop writing your resume that you need a PhD or a master's to understand. So that's all I can do for this resume. I hope that was at least helpful. It should be. I believe it would be helpful. If you need more help, you can always stop by my live stream. That's where I get these qualifications. That's where I review this stuff live, and I answer other questions like phone screen questions, interview questions, all that good stuff. So you can join me every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST till whenever my job calls me away. Sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 4 hours. We'll see. At twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out. I'll answer your questions. It may take me a couple of days to get to them, but I will answer them. And let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a DevOps intern. I will be perfectly frank. I was not able to find a single DevOps intern. The only thing that I kind of found was a combo SRE DevOps intern role. So I don't know where you're finding these. I don't know if this is a US kind of thing, but I could not find any DevOps interns. I found DevOps roles, but the actual internships besides that SRE one, I couldn't find. So I don't really understand why that's happening. But what we're looking for in a normal DevOps person in the United States is cloud, DevOps, CI/CD, Docker, infrastructure as code, troubleshooting, Kubernetes, monitoring, logging, catching, scaling, parallelization, GitHub, SQL, network protocols, firewall management, and security. kind of hesitant to try to find this in 20 seconds because I don't even know if this is the right role for it. So, yeah, let me try to, but I'm not going to judge it based on that. So, containerized, I think, is almost something I would want. Don't care. CI/CD could be. Kubernetes I did find. I don't know if I need the rest of this. GitOps I don't need. Databases. Yeah, no. So, this is, again, too technical. Now, I will, with the caveat that these are, I'm not looking for necessarily all of these, but these are way too much. Like, you've been here for 4 months, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bullet points. No more than 8. And because you've only been there for that long, I would actually just go with 3 to 4 bullet points for this. Like, I think you only really need 3 to 4 bullet points. And remember, you got to focus. So, whatever you're finding these DevOps interns, good for you. But use those job descriptions to make an aggregate list. Like, I'm sure they would want the cloud, which I missed actually right down here. But I don't see the DevOps. I see that you stated DevOps here, but where's the actual word DevOps? DevOps. Down there. All the way down there. And that's not going to cut it. They will probably not even get to here. But I need this to be written easier. Like, there's so much stuff. Like, are they really asking for MySQL and PostSQL? I want one of those. I don't know if I need both of them. And MongoDB, where's infrastructure as code? IAC. I don't see it. Where, let's see, maybe you wrote it out. Infrastructure. Nope, didn't see it. Where is your cloud? You don't tell me what cloud you have. I think you have AWS way at the bottom. But again, they're not going down that far. So, your resume is way too technical. Like, no one's going to understand this. Even if these are the wrong qualifications that I'm looking at, no one's going to read that far down. No one's going to go that down. You need to make it simpler. Same thing with the last review I did. Remember, the person reading your resume may need issues turning on their monitor. Take the very, very basic stuff that they're looking for and then put that in. So, which I assume is going to be close to this. But, like, I don't see anything about network protocols, do I? Did I miss it? No. Kubernetes was good, but scaling, what about parallelization? Do I even have it? Nope, nothing. Firewalls, what about firewalls? No, what about security? Security is matter. Security. This one's okay. Manager, this one's okay, but they're probably going to miss it because it's so incredibly dense. So, did you do it anywhere else? Security? Okay, security's in a couple of places, but there's no way they're going to see it. So, make it simpler and really look at what they're asking you to have. Not what you will be doing, but what you already, like, the qualification. So, my guide shows you how to do that. It's on my website, but I don't think they're going to be asking for all this stuff. And really, if you have an internship, you should not have it be 10 bullet points long. I understand you're afraid of your resume looking sparse, but that's okay. I have gotten people hired based on the first half of the first page. That's the most important part. Like, literally this, I've gotten people hired off of. So, make it simple. Make it easily understood. Double check you're actually putting in the qualifications, because everything that's not a part of the qualifications or is not like a green flag of hiring, like stability at a company, is just going to hurt your chances. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a ML intern or ML engineer intern. So, with basically machine learning intern or ML intern, in case I did not know the difference, which, you know what? Good for you for thinking that could be a possibility. I do know the difference, but good on you for thinking that could be a possibility. That is how you need to start making your resume. Props. So, they are looking for ML engineering or research internships at big tech firms. To be clear, not a FANG recruiter. Worked with a bunch of Fortune 500 companies, a bunch of really good startups, not FANG though. And wanted to get a resume to critique to see if my resume is readable to the eye and grasp my main experience quickly. All right. You also have a 1 in 50 ratio, which for an intern isn't terrible. Yeah, we want to make sure we can get more of it than that, but internships are so competitive. So what we're going to be looking for as a machine learning intern is machine learning, parentheses, ML, Python, C, C++, SQL, PyTorch, TensorFlow, Cloud. Also, if I see some of like the other stuff like Hugging Face, I think that counts. LLM, AI, generative AI, ChatGPT. Take direction and criticism and work well with others and your degree. So, let's see if they have it. Starting the clock. No, I'm not. Now I'm starting the clock. All right, and go. Degree, good. Plus advanced computer vision, nope. Deep learning models, maybe. LangChain, good. Agentic, good. Pydantic, it sounds funny when you say it all together. LLM, neural normalization, embedded performance, fast APIs, endpoint. Again, Python is what we need. So, would I move you forward? Maybe. Probably. This is again on the fence for me. I think I could give this more time. So AI, again, Hugging Face, LLMs, PyTorch, yeah. So I think if they read down to here, they probably would have. Your resume, and again, I want to be clear, this is not a garbage resume, chuck it in the trash, never ever interview this person. This resume has some deep flaws, but if it is a 1 in 50, it's at least a C-. So, couple of problems in readability and your actual bullet points itself. So, your resume needs to look like this. I understand that everybody thinks bolding it makes it better. It doesn't. When you read resumes in volume, bolding makes it worse. If I saw this resume, and this was the only resume I looked at in a day, yeah, that bolding would make it better. But I don't. There were 50 resumes before you. There are 50 resumes after you. All of them could be in different roles. The bolding makes your eyes tired, and it makes it so you can miss stuff that's needed. I actually missed some of this LLM because of the bolding, when the LLM is more important. So, and I actually just found out what agentic was a couple of, like last week or so. But, your formatting. So, sorry, brain just immediately stopped. So yes, formatting is an issue. This needs to be one line, no bolding. All right. This, no bolding. Nothing here should be bolded. So that's your formatting issues. Your bullet points are not the worst. I think we can improve them, but I don't think some of them are bad. So this tells me mostly nothing. Part of the problem with this one is they may not know what computer vision research is. What part of machine learning is this? Now, pose to advance research and optimize models for efficiency means nothing. I want to know what you've done. Now, as you are incoming in September, I don't think you need to put this here. I would put this here and just have it one line that says incoming, September 2025. So that way we know exactly what it's going to be. That's fine. Maybe a little bit about what they're working with, but it's easily understandable, and then we can move to the next one. But it's possible you may not even want this on your resume anyway. But again, if you're going to keep it, one line, that's it. Then we get to your actual experience. Launch a LangChain. Again, I don't have it there, but that might be one of the things they're looking for. Agentic, they may not know what agentic is. You would have to tell them, what part of AI is this? You need to let them know. Pipeline to auto-generate DB schemas, don't care, using Pydantic. Again, maybe they'd want Pydantic. But then reducing manual workload, I don't really care about. Plus, was this an intern? Because you need to state that you are an intern. This needs to say internship. This needs to say internship. This needs to say internship. Otherwise, it looks like you're a job hopper. So, you need to say AI engineer intern, machine learning intern, machine data scientist intern. All right. Otherwise, they are going to assume that that was a full-time job and that you are a job hopper. So don't do that. State they are interns. Internships are expected to only be 3 months. Other jobs, it's a red flag. Then we get to these parts. Again, LLM accuracy is what I'm okay with, but I don't need this 65%. Like, all I need you to say is developed a machine learning, and then you can put like LangChain, agentic, whatever, using Pydantic to reduce our workload. That's fine. That's a good one. Here, there's not really a ton besides LLM. Here, neural-driven normalization, I don't care about. And token overlap, I don't care about. Developed scalable fast API endpoints. They're not looking for fast API. They're looking for Python. Do they mean the same thing? They're not going to know. To serve LLM-generated schemas, accelerate. Again, it's too technical. That is the theme. That's actually most people's problems. They make their resume way too technical. Then we get down to here, which is actually kind of good. Developed an AI-powered retrieval system using, stop saying leveraging, I hate the word leveraging, Hugging Face, RAG, I don't care about RAG, and LLMs on PyTorch, which reduced our query time. That is great. I don't need the 20% for 1,000. But fine-tune Burton GPT, don't care about that, unless that's Chat GPT, but you did not state Chat GPT. You just said BERT. I don't know what BERT is, nor just regular GPT. Maybe that's Google Cloud Terraform. I don't know. You did not tell me. Models on AWS. Good. I want that. Cloud is good. You don't actually need to explain what AWS is. Everybody knows it's AWS. I don't know why that's very particular with that, but it's fine. With blah, 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 blah. Don't care, but I do care about NLP. So this is written okay. Your better bullets are here, but it's possible they're not going to get it. So again, I don't want to say this resume is trash. It's not. You don't have to start over from scratch and burn it and redo it. It's just that you are doing stuff that is too technical. Like, look at those job descriptions. They're not saying embedded token overlap to boost performance. Like, oh, you didn't boost performance by 45%? Sorry, the qualification we're looking for is that. You're only 40%. Oh, the accuracy needs to be 68%? Oh, you only have 65. We don't care. They're not saying that. They're saying, did you use Python? Did you use PyTorch? Did you use LLM, AI, generative AI, ChatGPT? Can you take direction, criticism? Did you use machine learning? Like, that's it. It's basic. Most of the job description stuff is for basic stuff. So again, go back and make these easier to read. And for the love of all that is holy, please stop bolding everything. It makes it so much harder to read. Please, everybody fights me on this. Please, just your recruiter will thank you. The less bolding you have, the better. I had to review a resume today, and they were a great candidate, but their resume had a ton of bolding, and it made it harder to read, and I almost missed some stuff. So please stop bolding everything. It makes it worse. There is a reason my resume looks boring, and it's because it needs to be. Next resume. This is a resume of an AI engineer. Well, actually, before I go to this one, I wanted to state that my goal is to review every resume that is sent to me. This person sent an image from Tokyo Revengers, so whoever sent this image by mistake, if you recognize who they are, you did not send your resume, you sent a picture of these people from apparently Tokyo Revengers, which I have not seen. So tell me if that's a show I should see. I like a lot of, not a lot of anime, but there's some anime I really like. So in the comments below, A, resubmit your resume with the right file, and B, let me know if that's something I should be watching. So to the next person in line is an AI engineer. For an AI engineer, what we're going to be looking for is AI, ML, LLM, NLP, Python, R, MATLAB, LangChain, SkibbityLearn, Cloud, TensorFlow, PyTorch, SD, LCC, ICD, DevOps, Hadoop, Spark, or Kafka. Probably a couple of other stuff. Again, like if I see like Hugging Face or some of the other ML kind of stuff, that's fine. But that is what I'm looking for. All right. This person said... qualifications for junior AI engineers differ, kind of, but not really. They usually go back down to these core functions, and I've applied my CV to like the above 70 companies and nothing, so I'd be very happy and thankful you helped me, sir. Well, no worries. I'd be glad to help you, but you did, in fact, completely dox yourself, so that is, don't do that. Please make sure when you're submitting it to me to not dox yourself so I can scroll down, but I am only able to scroll to this page, so... Let's start the clock. Can I find it in 20 seconds? I don't know. Let's find out, because 70 companies is not enough. You really want to be going for about 50 a week. I know that's a lot, but that should be the goal. So, go. Again, nothing here matters. Machine learning, what? AI, good. Course generation, don't care. I don't care about Flash. Scalable, nothing. What? Okay. Voice sentiments. No. So I would not move forward with you. So this could be good. They successfully pitched it at Shark Tank Egypt to demonstrate its value to transform e-learning through AI tech. You don't tell me enough about that. What do you mean by successfully pitched? I think that's kind of cool, though. I think that is something that you could put in, but the rest of this has absolutely nothing I need. So this stuff right here, I actually would probably need. The problem is you put it up here and it doesn't count. You cannot put stuff up here. Skill sections don't count. I want everybody to learn this. If it's not in a bullet point under a job, a project, or an internship, and you don't tell me how you did the thing and what the reason you did it or the result of doing it, it might as well not be on your resume because it doesn't count. And that is the problem with this, is this doesn't count. This doesn't count. Is there stuff down here? Some of the stuff, but they're not going to get all the way down to there. This is a block. You've done this for 3 to 4 months, and it may be a very impressive project, but, you know, they're not going to go all the way down here. So, and again, I don't know Egypt's AI engineering stuff, so I can only really base this on US stuff. But you need some of this stuff. Remember, it's basic and boring, gets people jobs. You need to have it here. All right. So you also need bullet points for this. Now what you can say is designed an AI some course creation content. And then add in, and then you can put in what you designed it in, because I don't know what you designed it in. You did not tell me. Which was, I guess, accepted. What do you mean by successfully pitched? Like, do you mean you got money for it? Or did you mean they saw it and they said, no, but that counts as successfully pitched? I don't know what you mean by successfully pitched. And again, there's just nothing here. Again, this is the stuff I'd be looking for, and I need it here and here. So there's just not much I can do with this, right? Like, I couldn't move you forward because you don't show the qualifications. You show them here, but again, doesn't count. Doesn't count. Need it to be here. So that's all I can do for this, because there's just really nothing in this. Like, I can't even tell you how to change it because there's nothing here. Also, you don't need to tell me when you started, just that you graduated. So you can just put 2024. So that's all I can do for this. Let's go. Oh, this is also an intern. Right. Don't put it down here. Say machine learning intern or machine learning engineer intern. You need to state that you're an intern in that job title, because if they miss this, it's going to look bad on you. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a embedded software engineer. So for an embedded software engineer, we're going to be looking for, at least in the United States, degree, C, C++, C sharp, C minus, C minor, C extra plus plus. There's like 1,000 of them. As long as I see C, it's going to be okay. Python, RTOS, Git. Oh boy. Microcontrollers, microprocessors, embedded operating systems, Agile, any ISO. So ISO is like internet. I always forget the acronym for it, but basically it's how you build stuff correctly. So ISO is good. Doors, whatever that is. ARM, Linux, I don't know. Hardware interfaces and protocols. So SPI, I2C, UART, TCP, and IP. Do I know what those mean? No, but that's what people were looking for. And a bonus for PLC security clearance, which you have, which is great. You can't see it on the resume, but I can on my screen, so that's actually really good. And cross-functional and full stack. So just to let this up a little bit, this person did not dox themselves, but they did write a little bit of a naughty stuff up there, so I can't really show it. So please make sure it's PG when you send it to me. Right, so the first thing is, I understand why you did this. Your Bachelor's of Science should be up above. Again, you want it to look like this, so your BS from Florida should be up top, and then the one below it from your AA should be... Actually, I don't think you need it. Once you graduate with your AA, you don't really need... once you graduate with your bachelor's, you don't need your AA. So languages, again, not great. We want to see them down here. All right, so software engineer technician, embedded sets and test systems. SDLC can be beneficial. Practice develop software applications in C++ and C Sharp. Good. ICSP. I think that is close enough to what I'm looking for. Protocols. Let's see. Logic unit, C Sharp. Interface hardware. Create, maintain technical documents. No. Microcontrollers. I thought I saw microcontrollers. All right, so you're missing a couple of things, but overall this is not terrible because, again, this is actually kind of a hot market. They get more than 20 seconds to look at this. Here it is, microcontroller. So what you need to do is fix the formatting. I think that is your biggest issue with formatting, because I actually missed microcontrollers on my first go because I was looking for it some other places. So make your formatting look like this. It looks way better. You probably need to add one or two other things, like if you've done ISO or Agile or security stuff, it's good, but otherwise I don't think this is terrible. Again, your qualifications as a embedded software engineer, your market is better. And the way that works is the better your market, the more time we have to look at your resume, and the less important your resume actually is. It's possible they see software engineer technician and they see C++ and C Sharp and your security clearance, and they move you forward on that alone. That's just the unfortunate truth of the market, is the better your market, the less your resume matters. So again, I would double check to go back, look at a couple of these jobs, make it a little easier to read formatting wise, and maybe add one or two other qualifications. But I don't think you're going to have too much trouble even with this awful formatting, just because of how hot the market is for that. So, and your, again, security clearance. So that's all I can do for this. Thank you all for joining me. If you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. PST. Not till 2 p.m. It's until whenever I get called away. Sometimes I stream for 2 hours. Sometimes it's an hour. Sometimes it's 5 hours. Really depends on how much work I have. And if you ever need more help, you can always ask me questions. I'd be glad to answer them. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video to help you get ahead of your job search.